Hello, am I audible?
Yeah, we can hear you.
Okay, thank you. We have only 17 participants till now. So I think we can wait for another 1 minute and we can start then.
So are we going to discuss the quiz one revision further, or are we going to discuss week 5?
No, we basically in today's session we will discuss the mock papers.
Okay, fine.
Oh, yeah, okay.
While we wait for others, I do have a question. I
Okay,
think
so
Ginger people have asked whether we need to know if and all that stuff, but in the mock quiz, there is a question that uses if from Ginger. So it'll be useful to get an idea of what all, because Ginger is too vast. So what all should we learn about Ginger?
Okay, so yeah, we will discuss the mock question one by one, and the question you are asking till now is it been discussed in that mock, like mentioned in the mock papers?
See, okay, let me give you the context. Right? So previously we asked what all should we learn Ginger, because there is a thing about conditional stuff in Ginger. And in the previous session, I think there was a question somebody else asked, and an answer was given. You know about for and n for, that should be fine. You don't need to know about conditional, right? But in the mock question, there is a question that has a conditional from Ginger.
Okay, so yeah, we can discuss that. Okay, okay. I think we can start. We have 20 participants now. So okay. So yeah, good evening to everyone. In today's session, we basically will discuss the mock papers, like which you got the question in the mock. Like we will discuss apart from the solve with instructor session that we had on the Saturday. So rather than we will discuss the mock questions basically. So yeah, let me share this screen and then we can start discussing the session. Sorry, question one by one. Give me 1 minute. Okay. My screen is visible.
Yes.
Okay. Okay. So let me zoom in. Yeah. Okay. Devi ma'am, are you there?
Yeah, I'm here.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah. Thank you.
Okay, good evening, Minda. So today's session, first half of the questions will be handled by myself and the remaining half Sonal ma'am will handle. So let's start with the first question, right? So which of the follow, can you able to hear me, Sonal? Hello?
Yes, ma'am. Yes.
Okay. Okay, which of the following options is correct regarding statement 1 and 2? And the two statements are given. The first statement is the controller is responsible for taking data from the model and giving it to the view to present it. And second statement, the controller is responsible for taking data from the view and giving it to the model to perform certain actions, right? So already from that activity session as well as the screencast, you may come across controller, model as well as the view. So how it is normally organized? So we will have controller which will get the information from the model and display the output in the view. Similarly, whatever content we are giving, for example, if you are creating a view using a HTML page, and if you are entering the name, roll number, etc., and all in that HTML page, what the controller will do, it will get the values from the view and it will store it back to the model, right? So this is sending the request as well as getting the response, both are done by the controller, right? So according to that point, if you see the statement 1 and statement 2, both are correct, right? So if you have any doubt in this, let me explain further. Otherwise, we will move on to the second question. Yes, any doubt in controller, model, and view?
Oh, this is clear.
Okay. Okay, next we will move on to the second question. So which of the following are valid IPv4 addresses? So actually IPv4 addresses are divided into 4 bytes separated by 3 dots, right? So each byte is of 8 bits, that is representation of octal. And then so each byte is of 8 bits. So totally 8 into 4, 32 bits will be available in the IPv4 address. So according to that case, so if you are normally that IPv4 addresses are represented either in the binary format or in the decimal format. So normally we will use to represent each bits of that 1 byte, that is represented as 2 power 0, 2 power 1, 2 power 2, up to 2 power 7. Right. So totally, if you identify the value of 2 power 7, it will be up to 256. Right. So the value of one part of that particular decimal value ranges from 0 to 255, which is the count of 256, right? So that is how it is organized, right? So if you are representing a IP address in 4 bytes, separated by dot. So that 4 bytes consist of each of 8 bits. So totally 32 bits of representation, and 1 byte of representation can hold a decimal value starting from 0 to 255. Right. So that is the constraint of it, because already I have told each and every bit is represented in powers of 2, because the IP addresses are represented in the binary form. So the first least significant bit will be represented as 2 power 0. Similarly, the last most significant, so if you in the ascending order, in the most significant bit will be represented as 2 power 7. So the value of 2 power 7 is 256. So the range will be 0 to 255. So according to this all constraints, if you come over, so see the first option, it is 192.168.201.261, where the last byte of information is 261, which is greater than 255. Right. So it is not coming under the category of IPv4. So we are neglecting the first option. Okay, next we are moving to the second option. If you see the second option, it is 192.102.89.36. All the so it consists of 4 bytes, and the 4 bytes are separated by 3 dots. And once again, the values also okay, let me complete it, then I will come to your question. And the values are also between the values of 0 to 255. So the second option is correct. Similarly, if you go to the third option, that also consisting of 4 bytes of information separated by 3 dot operators, and the range is also starting with 0 to 255, all the ranges, first range, first byte, second byte, third byte, fourth byte, and all the ranges are coming within the range of 0 to 255. So obviously the third option is also correct. And while you're moving to the fourth option, it is in the form of hexadecimal, right? So already I have specified here, it is in the IPv4 is represented in the decimal form, or it is represented in the binary form. So since it is of hexadecimal, it is not coming under the IPv4 category, as well as the number of bytes that is represented is also higher compared to the previous one. right? So this last one is represented as IPv6 category, which is of 128 bytes, where here we have neglected the first bytes of information in the last least significant byte, as well as the next significant byte is represented here, right? So this is 128 bits of information with hexadecimal coding is represented as IPv6. Yes, now you can ask your question. So second and third answers are correct. Okay, one person has raised their hand.
Ma'am, if you could make the session a little more interactive, because we're only 23 people.
Okay, can I present my, can I show it in the whiteboard so that you can able to see, right? Yes.
No, ma'am. If you can ask everyone if they have any issues with that question, people who have issues with that question will come up. Otherwise,
yeah. That's why I have asked after completing the first question. I have asked for everyone, but no one have responded, right? So, okay. Is there any issues for that first question? Yes.
No, ma'am, it's fine.
Okay. Second question, let me explain it in the whiteboard, or let me start with the question. So if you need, I will. Is any doubt in that question?
it's clear, ma'am. Second question is clear.
Okay. So then Sonal, you can start presenting that content. If there is no other queries. So any issues you have faced in that second question? Because option 2 and 3 is abruptly correct and the remaining options are wrong. And fourth option is an IPv6 option. Sonal, are you there? Yeah.
What is the fourth option, ma'am?
A fourth option is IPv6 address.
It should be hexadecimal, right? And it should be 16-bit, right?
Not 16-bit, 128 bits. Hexadecimal is right? Okay, so that means we are representing as 128 bits, right? So here, if you see, we have separated using colon symbol. Can you able to see that here?
Yeah, I think he missed that fact that IPv6 typically we ignore the first few because they are not filled, right? They are 0, 0.
Right. So the here, so in IPv4, we have represented the each byte, places which is separated with the dot symbol as 1 byte of information. But in IPv6, we are using the colon symbol as a separator. So each colon symbol consists of 32 bits of information. So totally here they have represented only 64 bits. Remaining the first 264 bits or the content of 0, or it can no need to represent it. So that only the first 2 spaces, right? So which consist of 32 bits each, that is left as it is without giving any values. And then the least significant place as well as the next significant place is represented with 32 bits, so totally 64 bits. But actually IPv6 is of 128 bits, so that only we are representing as colon. Yes, one question is from chat box. No, it is, yes, 16 bytes is correct. I am saying in bits, but you are saying in bytes. That's the difference. One byte consists of 8 bits, so 16 into 8.
Even then it is wrong now. It should be 8, right? You only presented 4. Then also it will not be IPv6, right?
No, Srinivas, the IPv6 is extended. So typically the initial things are all 0. It has been set for much more in the future. So typically the convention is to just omit them, because most of them are currently, even all the IPv6 addresses, the first 32 bits, right, from the top, 64 bits are usually 0. So you can just skip them.
Instead of writing zeros in that place, we are skipping it and we are representing only 64 bits.
So just from my understanding, there are still 4 hexadecimals which are zeros and not represented here.
Yes.
That
Yeah. So totally 64 bits are not represented.
okay.
You
64
can also
bits.
think that the leading zeros are usually don't need to represent, right? So we just skip them for brevity.
Okay, Sonal, can I present the whiteboard? So can you please stop watching? Right. So here, what we are representing is first 32 bits, and then colon, next 32 bits, and then colon, next 32 bits, and then colon, and next 32 bits. Right. So here, for our information, so let me just go to the question and check it out. What is the value of that? The value is represented as B2A9 and 95CD. Okay, now I'm going to write that. So B2, A9, 95C, right? So this 32 bit is represented here and this 32 bit is represented here, and the remaining bits are represented as 0, so that we are not representing it. Defaultly, it will consider as zeros, right? So that only we are representing only 2 colons followed by that value. So this is a valid IPv6, which is of 128 bits, 128 bits, and according to you, it is 16 bytes. Right, both are correct because 8 bits is equal to 1 byte. So that is what I have. Is that clear now?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay. Okay, now let's move on to the next question. So any other doubts? If there is no doubts, we will move on to the next question. So I will close this one. Okay. So third question. So for the statement given below, we have to identify the appropriate components of the given statement and then the corresponding values for the given statement, right? So that is given in this table. So here the statement represents that curl space http colon / localhost colon 8080. So here curl specifies the command. Similarly, HTTP represents the hypertext transfer protocol, which is a default protocol that is used in the web browsers to send requests as well as get response from the server. And then next followed by that is the local host, which is the host name. So this local host can also be represented as local loop address, which is 127.0.0.1. And then followed by that, we are having a colon symbol and then the port number, right? So default port number for HTTP is 8080. So that port number is represented here. Similarly, FTP protocol, if you take the port numbers will be 20 and 21. And as well, like that, it goes off. If you take a domain name system, the port is 54, like that, it goes off, right? So each and every protocol will execute. Yes, ma'am, please explain URI and URL by taking an example. So I think both are similar, only the term differs. Okay, I will show it in the, so I will start continuing the whiteboard. Right. So universal resource identifier, a uniform resource identifier and universal resource locator, right? So that is represented as URL and URI, uniform resource identifier. That means it will identify the resources uniquely. It will identify each and every resources that are available. And URL is also, so for example, if you are representing HTTP colon / localhost colon 8080, right? So this represents the URL that specifies the local web server what you are running using your Python program, right? So not this we will use 8000 as the port number, right? So that will be used for executing your web server that is running in your local machine, right? So whatever you make. So this is represented as universal, and normally this universal resource locator is represented as, for example, if you are typing www.google.com. So universally it is represented as google.com, right? So from anywhere you can represent this particular URL to get the information from that URL, right? So if you are having multiple resources that are available in a particular environment, we will have unique representation of each resources. So uniform resource identifier is used to give uniform representation for each resources which are available, and that is used to connect it to the internet, right? So that is how we are representing. So whatever the in a web browser, if you open a web browser and type the content, whatever you are typing in www.google.com or www. whatever you are typing, that is represented as universal resource locator, which will be, for example, if you are typing as www.google.com, obviously it will, the request will be landed to the Google server, right? So it will landed to the corresponding Google server and you will get the response from. So you are identifying and you are uniquely identifying that, and you are forwarding the request, right? So universal resource locator. So all over the universe, whatever from wherever you are typing this URL, it will land it to the same web server. For example, if you consider there are 7 for example, I'm saying I don't know exactly how many web servers are running for the Google. So if there are 7 web servers at different locations of our world, automatically whichever server which is nearer to you will get the request and you will get the response from that server. All are universally identified. All these resources are universally identified as a single resource, which is www.google.com. Right? So whichever server is nearer to you will send the response for the corresponding search what you are doing, and you will get the response for that corresponding search. Right? So that will be represented as universal resource locator. And then if that is overloaded for that particular server, the request will be handled by the another server which is running that same server, Google server. Right, so that only within nanoseconds, microseconds and all, we are getting the response from the Google from anywhere. How many times we are picking, how many persons that there is no constraint for that, right? How many requests you may populate, automatically it will send the response immediately, right? But if you are running a local server in your system or in your a local environment, if it is beyond the particular request is more than the handling capacity of that server, automatically you won't get the response and it will take more time to process, right? So that only there are so many number of servers that are available all over the world to handle the request and send the response as soon as possible, right? So that is how we are representing this. So both are representing uniquely a particular resource, right? So that is represented as this. So is that clear? Okay, URL.
Hello, ma'am.
Yes, Sona.
Can I add some points?
Yes,
like
yes, sure.
Yeah, okay. But I'm not able to edit this whiteboard. Is it an issue by your side? Like
wait,
access
I will
issues?
share it to you. Okay, I will share it. Can you able to edit it now? I have shared it.
No, ma'am. I think I can share my own.
Okay, then I will close this.
Yeah, you can stop sharing. Okay. My screen is visible, like paint page.
Yes, it's visible.
Okay. 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 Now it's working. Let me clear this first. So, see, there are three things. Like ma'am has already discussed about like ma'am has already discussed about URI and URL, right? So someone is asking in the chat that what is an URL. So see, I'll before going into the URL, let me just recap what is an URI and URL. So see, URL is also something very similar to URL, but they are not same. Okay, they are not same. So how they are different. See, it is what is a URI? It is a kind of string identifier. Okay, it is only identifier. It is only an identity of a resource on a internet. Only first point to make note of, like it is only the identity of a resource on the internet. Okay, so we can either search a resource on the internet either by its location, name, or both. So in the URI, we are using their location, their name, or both. How they are using this, I'll explain later. But first thing to keep in mind that it is kind of string which only refers to identifying of a resource. It is not something like accessing of resource. It's just a like I can give you an example. Like we have a home or we have an address, right? So someone who is outside of that town and someone is asking about uh, where is your home? Like what is your name and what is your address and where is your home? So the second person simply says that okay, his house is on the third street on the second floor of that apartment. So he's just identifying and giving you the reference. Like you are not you had not gone there till now. So that's why it's just identifying. Okay, is one kind of example. So the first point, right? The second thing is the most important point is URI is a superset of URL. Okay, so we have a URL, and I'll explain you what is an URL and URL. So URL and URN, sorry, N, this is N. So URN and URL, both are subsets of URI. So we can say that URI is a superset of URL and URN. Okay, so if we talk about the structure that I was talking earlier, that it is a string that identify resources on the internet. If we talk about the string, so basically if you go to a structure of a URL that you have seen uh, mostly on that web browser, like if you type something and it will points to something on the resource which you want to access. So you basically see something like HTTP and colon and slash and something xyz.com, right? And after that you can find or not be find. This is optional, like, right? This is code. You can have some path like dot html or xml, anything, JSON. So this is mainly the protocol, or we can also say it like scheme. Okay, this is a protocol or scheme. You can also say it is a scheme. Okay, so this is a kind of colon. After that, this thing, sorry, this basically this thing is nothing but the domain name. Okay, this collectively www.com is collectively known as a domain name. If we talk about what is a www here after that google.com, so if we talk about this only, okay, this is called a subdomain. Okay, subdomain. subdomain, and this is collectively known as a domain name. Like from www.com, sorry, from here to here only, this is so from www.google.com, this collectively known as a domain name. And if we talk about this thing, only the www, this is nothing but the subdomain. Okay, after that we have a port. Okay, we have a port, we have a path, this is called a path. And we can have some parameters here before the path also. We can have some parameters, or these are something like optional thing. You usually don't find these things in the URL that you type. You just have to you just see that the protocol name is there, the domain name is there, and sometimes port and sometimes not also. This path you can see, but parameters and all, yeah, it basically depends on the page that you want to access on the internet. So this is the basic structure of a URI. I'm not talking about URL and URL. I'm just talking about the URI. So first thing to remember, first point that I had explained, first thing, it is nothing but the identity of a resource. Only the identity, only the address of the resource. Okay, that is not clickable or not accessible. We are not talking about any accessibility here. We are just talking about the identity. Second is the URI is a superset of URL and URL. Okay, this is the second point. Third point is this, I just explained the structure of an URI. How does a normal minimal web address look like? So this is something about structure. Okay, so see, if you talk about the URI consists of a scheme, okay, a path, a domain name, these things. So most commonly used schemes in the scope of URI will be HTTPS, HTTP, FTP, file transfer telnet, or anything apart from HTTP or HTTPS we can also use in the case of URI. Okay, for if we go to the, if we give an example of that URI, this is a one example like HTTP. Okay, the second example can be like file colon something.com and some path or parameter. Okay, so this is also one example of a URI. So this is all about the URI. If we talk about the URL, okay, so URL is called something as a web address. Okay, web address. Don't be confused between the URI and URL. It's just a part of URI, not very like it is different. They are both different. So see, if we talk about in the URI part, we have talked about identifying a resource, but accessing the resource, accessing, very important point. Like if we talk about accessing the particular resource that you have identified, we use URL. Okay, so it always points to unique resource. Okay, it always points to a unique resource. So basically, whatever you type in the web address as a kind of web address on your browser, that is nothing but the URL, because it's something that is used to access any resource on the internet. We are not it's just that we don't want to just identify a resource, we also want to access it, right? So that's why all the places that you if you want to access any resource or want to find any page or any website, so you generally you will find that URL is there. URL, we type that, the whole thing is a URL. So what is the difference between URL and UI? First difference is this is identifying and this is accessing. Second thing is the most important thing, that in the URL only two in the URL only protocols such as HTTP or HTTPS or FTP are used, not other than this, because these are something which is used to access something on the internet. Okay, so we don't use files. Okay, here, but in the URI we are using file, but In URL, we just use HTTP and FTP. The whole structure will be same. Like we have domain name, we have parameter path. The whole structure will be same, but the schemes can vary. Okay, we can also, only use HTTP, HTTPS, and FTP in the case of URL. So this is all about the URL. All the web address that you can see in the browser itself, they are nothing but the URL, not URN or not URI. Okay, so if you talk about the URL, the first point is what? It is a subset of URI. Okay, it is a subset of URI. Second thing, it also refers to a resource. Like it also identify a resource on the internet, but without actually specifying its location. Okay, so it not specify your file name. It never specify the parameters. All that thing you didn't find it, did not find in the URL. Okay, so like if we see in the URI and URL, the structure of URI and URL, you can see there is something like a path and parameter, which is extra parameters that we provide to the structure or provide to the browser to specify a very particular resource. Okay, unique resource. It always points to a unique resource. But in the case of URL, we didn't specify any location or any location or any existence. It didn't point to any unique resource. Okay, so its formal is just pointing out to something. It's just identifying the resource, but it is nothing like you are specifying its location or existence. Okay, so for example, we have like if I give you one example, like it is URN colon something like ISSN. This is a very example only. I don't want to confuse you, like ISN some number like 1124222 something like that. Okay, so this is the scheme. Okay, this is the scheme. Okay, so in the case of URI and URL, you have seen that we are using the HTTP and HTTPS and FTP and file and all that thing. But here in the case of URL, we only use a scheme as URL. Okay, we are not using HTTP, HTTPS on all the schemes that we have discussed earlier. Okay, so this is something like the scheme. Okay, so this thing ISSN. Okay, so this component is the namespace identifier that can include letters, digits, and hyphen and anything. It's not of your use, right? It's not of your use to understanding. We never use URN in our daily use. So it's just matter of understanding that this is something like a namespace identifier. Okay, so
then let's move on to the next question.
yeah. Okay, just the thing is this is also a kind of string. So this is all about the URI, URL, and URL. So basically this is the difference. Let me stop sharing my screen. Yeah, we can go to the next question. Okay. Okay, so this question is, okay, so question number 4.
So I have not concluded the answer for the question. So based on that, the command is represented as curl. Third question. Right. So the command is curl as well as the protocol is HTTP and the port is 8080 and then the local host is host. Right. So based on that, we are representing the answer of this particular question. Right. So okay, now we can move on to the next question. Yes. So what is the difference between get and head HTTP request methods? So here we are using this. So while we have gone through the screencast and all, you can come across the Postman So in that itself, you can represent that if you give a GET request, automatically what it will do, it will retrieve the metadata along with the body of the content, right? So metadata is nothing but the data about the data, right? So whatever the header information that are included in that particular request, that is represented as metadata. So if you are giving a GET request, automatically it will retrieve the header information as well as the body information, right? So that is represented as GET method, GET request method, and only head request method, right? So in that head request method, my voice is not clear. Can you able to hear it now?
Yeah, ma'am, it's just a
voice
bit
is
lower,
clear.
but it's clear.
Okay, so in head HTTP request method, whatever, if you are giving a head request, automatically only the metadata about that body of information, it will retrieve only the header information, right? So the metadata about that information will be retrieved as a header information, and it will not retrieve the body. So both are similar request methods, but the thing is, in GET request method, it will retrieve the body information along with the header information, and in the head request method, it will retrieve only the header information, right? So that is how we are representing. So can you please scroll down? Yes. So the answer for that fourth question is, we have to write it as a descriptive one, where you have to represent a GET request will be retrieved using a header as well as the body content, as well as the head request is to get the values get only the metadata or the header content, right? So that is the answer for that fourth question. Is any doubt? Otherwise, we can move on to the next question. Okay, it's clear. Okay, next. Fifth question.
Anyone is raising hand? Like,
Yes.
And with respect to question number 3, in one of the previous quizzes, the question relates to Flask routing. If you could elaborate on that, how Flask routing works with the URL routing.
Flask URL routing. So
we write
Flask.
Yes, ma'am. We give the path in the Flask, right?
Yes, yes.
So the different types of paths is one of the questions in the previous quiz. If you could elaborate on that.
Yeah, we will use decorated to specify each and every path separately. That is what your question is.
No, ma'am. Further to that, there is different types of you can say data types. So that is what the question was.
Can you say the question fully so that I can able to answer?
Maybe I'll find and send a screenshot in the chat.
Okay, sure. Okay, so until then, we will move on to the next question. Sonal, can you please move on to the fifth question? Okay, so in that question, suppose you initiate a Python inbuilt HTTP server in a given directory, right? And that directory does not contain index.html file in its root directory. And you send a request to HTTP / so already I have specified localhost as well as this local loop address 127.0.0.1. Both will refer to the local system in which you are running the web server of Python, right? Okay, colon 8000 using a browser. So what will be rendered by the browser, right? So if the index.html file is not available, so once you have run that web server in your system locally by navigating towards the folder information. So what it will do, if that index.file is not available, it will display the directory content of that current working directory, right? For example, if you are, so let me show it in that whiteboard. So for example, if you are working in the directory d colon slash d slash Flask dot py, right? So this is the folder which is consisting of this pyflask.py, but within the template, within this folder, you have to create one more folder as templates. Within that, you have to store that index.html, right? So if this particular file is not available, whatever the contents of this particular directory, file name directory, that will be displayed as a tree structure in this particular if you are running that particular address, right? So the URL is http://127.0.0.1:8000. So if you run that particular program, and then if you go to the web browser and check with this particular URL, it will display the file structure, what are the directories that are, for example, within that file name, if I am having a directory like subfile, right? So, and within that subfile, I am having 3 files. So here in this file also, I am having pyflask right? So it will display the file structure or whatever the contents that are available in the directory, that will be displayed while you are executing the particular web server Python Python web server locally, if there is no index.html file. If there is an index.html file, automatically it will load that index.html file while you are running this particular URL after starting this web server, right? So that is how it is executed. So coming back to this part, Sonal, can you please start presenting? Right. So coming back to this particular part, so from this information, we can conclude that the answer for this fifth question is the directory listing of given directory will be displayed if the index.html file is not available, right? So that will be rendered in the browser. It will not show any error or page not found error. It will display the directory listing in the given directory where you are running your current web server program, Python program, right? So any doubt in this? Okay. I think one doubt, yes, question was about. So the question is about converters. So this session we will discuss in the end of this session, right? So we will move on to the next question, sixth question. So how many characters can be encoded using 5 bits, right? So this also I will represent using my whiteboard, right? So I will start collaborating. So if you see here, so we are going to represent 5 bits. So I am putting 5 bits that can be represented, filled using this dashes, right? So in the previous IPv4 itself, I have represented how to represent the bits. For example, if you want to represent 2 characters, right? So 1 bit is required. So how we are representing? 1 is represented for one particular character and 0 is represented for one particular character, right? So, so 2 power 0 is required. So we are using either 1 or 0, right? So 2 power 0, similarly 2 power 1, 2 power 2, 2 power 3, 2 power 4, right? So if you want to represent 5 bits of information, what it will be represented as 2 power 4, that is of 32 bits. Sorry, 16 bits. So that is the answer for that question. 5 bits of information. So since it is of 5 bits, we are representing as directly, right? So 1 bit 2 power 1. No, it should not be started with 0. It should be started with 1 because there are 2 bits, right? So 2 power 1 is represented as 2 bits. 2 power 1 is 2. So 2 bits can be represented if the power is 1. So for 5 bits, 2 power 5, which is 32 bits, right? So just I will make a correction over here, 2, and this one is 3, 4, and this one is 5, right? So 2 power 5. So totally 32 bits can be represented to represent the 32 bits is used to represent 5 bits. If we are using 5 bits, we can able to represent 32 characters, right? So that is the question. So how many characters can be encoded using 5 bits? Okay. Sonal, can you please start presenting? Right, so 32 bits, which is 2 power 5. So that is the answer for that question. Okay, and next we will move on to the next question, which is also similar to that previous one. How many bits are required to represent IITM in ASCII? Right, so in ASCII we know it is an 8-bit of representation. So automatically, if it is 8-bit, there are how many characters? So for one character representation, it is 8-bit. So here there are four characters. So 8 into 4, it will be represented as 32 bits, right? So the answer for this question is also 32 bits. So that is the answer for this particular question, right? Okay. So next question. So any doubt in this 6th and 7th question? Otherwise, we will move on to the next question. Okay. So we will move on to the next question, 8th question. So let us assume a text document with word count of 500. So only the word count is given as 500. The spaces, other alphanumerical characters that are all not represented. So if you take, so there are totally 3,000 characters. If you include all the words as, so words consist of letters, right? So that letters can be, as well as we are including spaces to separate between the words. So including the spaces as well as the alphanumerical characters, the total character count is represented as 3,000 characters. So we have to choose the best technique, efficient way to represent, to encode 3,000 characters. So which encoding technique is efficient to represent this 3,000 character is the question. So first we will start with UCS4 encoding, right? So in this UCS4 encoding, this encoding takes, so UCS4 itself, it represents, it is of 4 bytes of representation. So 32 bits into 3,000. So totally 96,000 bits is required to represent this 4 bits of information. Similarly, if you take the second option, ASCII encoding, so now only we have completed ASCII encoding, which is of 8 bits of information is required to represent one particular character. So 8 into 3,000, it is 24 bits. And then the third one is UCS2 encoding. In this UCS2 encoding, it is of 16 bits representation. So 16 bits into 3,000, it is 48 bits of representation, right? So first is 96,000, second is 24,000 bits, and third one is 48,000 bits, right? So next is original 7-bit ASCII. So original ASCII is represented in 7 bits. So 7 bits into 3,000. So that is 21,000 bits. So 21,000 bits is the minimum storage, minimum character representation storage capability. So that we are choosing the option 4 as the lowest efficient storage way to encode a particular character, right? So that is how we are representing. So UCS4 represents it's of 4 bytes, so 32 bits into 3000. UCS2 2 bytes, so 16 bits into 3000. As similarly, ASCII encoding simply it is representing one character using 8 bits, and original ASCII is represented as one character using 7 bits. So minimum value is represented using original 7-bit ASCII. So the value minimum efficient storage efficient is represented in original 7-bit ASCII. So any doubts up to this 8 questions? No means we can. Okay. Sonal, you can take over from here.
Okay. Okay. Thank you, ma'am. Can you see my split screen, like one front end and one paint screen?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay. Let me adjust this here and just do this. Okay. I'm just doing this like I can write it correspondingly if you want to. Okay, I think it's visible. Look. Okay, so we are at the 8th question. Okay, before going to the 8th question, let me first clear this. Okay, so yeah, where's the pencil? Okay, so this is not that pencil. Yeah, now it's fine. So someone was asking, before going into the question number 9, someone was asking about the converters, like routing and converters. So I'm just giving you a very brief thing, like you can read a whole detailed part at the documentation. First, please go to the documentation. Like if you go to the documentation, you can read the whole thing, like what is routing, how it take place, and how does this work. Yeah, how does it work? So all the things you can find it on the documentation. Second thing is, if we talk about the routing, so routing is very like self-explanatory. Explanatory. Like if we talk about the web application, if we talk about the web application, so they use URLs. Okay, so why they use URLs? They use URLs to navigate through pages. Okay, navigate through pages. If you want to display the home page, we have a separate URL for that. If you go to that and the different page, you have separate URL for that. So you know that we have in a Flask application itself, we have different routes, right? Different routes, like route 1, route 2. You can create as many as route you can. And what does route do? Basically what it does is it binds the function to a URL. Okay, what does the route decorator, if we talk about the route decorator in which we are specifying the route, so basically it binds your function, like it binds your function that you created in that Flask application. So it binds your function to a specific URL. Whatever you will specify in this route decorator, it will bind to that function that is within that. Okay, so you can create as many as route. Okay, so this is all about this brief thing, like what is how does a routing look. So if you talk about the converter, like someone was talking about how many types and one question, previous year question and all. So see, in the URL itself, we can add variables. Okay, we can add variables in the URL. Why do we add variables in the URL? We basically, so how do we add variables? So why do we add URL variables in the URL? Is simple. Like we have to navigate through pages and give to give a very additional information about that, what type of information we are giving into that particular route, which type of data type is that. Like someone wants to give string type and someone wants to give integer type. So that why we are using this type of different type of variable names. So this is something basically so this is all about how why do we use. So how do we use? It's something like see, we have a route, and within the route we have something like a converter. Okay, so converter, and after the colon itself we specify the name of the variable. Okay, name of the variable, whatever the name of the variable is. So this converter, like if I give you some example, like see, like we have route, we have at the rate app dot route, we have app dot route, and within the app dot route we have something like some like name XYZ. This is the URL that we want to name. We want to.
Writing something?
Yes, I am writing something.
Not visible on the screen.
Okay, my screen is not visible.
No, your screen is visible. Sometimes what you write, no, it's not always visible. So.
Oh, okay.
So this is the problem with Zoom. I have faced it in the previous session also in Java. So.
Okay. So whenever you find that thing, you can inform me. Like, okay, I'll explain you what I said. Okay, so this. So see, if we talk about the converter, how we are using it? Like we have an app.route, right? Previously we have seen what is a routing, how does a routing work. So within the routing app.route decorator, we have a something called path, or we can specify any path. After the path we can specify any converter. Okay, any converter, like we are specifying any integer, like so we have to specify its type of converter we want to use. Like we have integer, let's say, so let's say 3. So this is how we use a converter. So in Flask itself, sorry, it's not spacious. So in Flask itself we have various converter types. So we have string. First one is the string. Okay, second is integer. Third is like path. Fourth will be something like float. So these are the basic converters that we usually use.
Only question screen is visible, not your writing whiteboard screen.
I'm sharing my paint screen. My paint screen is visible?
No.
Not at all. Like nothing is visible.
Ma'am, only questions are visible.
Okay. So I was writing something. Okay, let me share and see what's the issue is. Okay, let me stop sharing and you can share it. Only the mock screen is visible. Okay, let me see what is the issue. Screen. Now is it visible? The screen, like the question screen and the paint screen?
Now it's fine.
Oh, now it's fine.
Now visible.
Yes.
Okay, so sorry for that. I just written this. Sorry. I just written this much of things in this. See, I was talking about the documentation. First thing I talk about the documentation for the detailed thing, if someone wants to read these things in the detail. Second thing I had discussed about the routing. So how does a routing work? How does a Flask application, in a Flask application, we can see many of function. We create many functions and we create different routes corresponding to that function. So what does a route, does that route do? That route basically bind that function that we are creating to a specific URL. Okay, so whatever the URL you specify here, it will bind the function within that to that URL. So in the web application or a Flask application, we can write as many as route, we can create as many as function and route within that. Okay, so after that, I had in the point number 3, I had explained that how to add variables to a URL. Okay, so you have seen a very normal thing like this slash. Okay, this is a very minimal thing, like there's a home page and something like that. But what if you want to add some variables to your URL? So that is the place where converters are used. So how a converters are used? There is a these things. After that, we have a converter, and after the column we write this is a converter type. Okay, and after the colon we can specify the name of the variable which you want to specify. So I had given one example also, that see, we have @app.route. Okay, after that we have something like xyz / and something like that. And after that, if you want to specify any converter, what does a converter do? Basically, it tells you what type of variable you are using in your URL. Okay, so let's say we are using a variable of type integer, so we can specify int before that, and after that we can close it and the thing bracket goes. So after that, I had explained how many types of converters we can use in a Flask application. Okay, so all this types of converter is has been explained very in detailed format in the documentation, if you can see. But here, this is the integer type. We have a string, we have a path, we have a float. So these are very basic type of converter that you can use. Okay, so this is all about a very brief thing about the converter. So we have many questions also remain. So let us jump to the question. Let me clear that screen. Now is it visible, right? My screen, my paint. Okay. So we have question number 9, right? So our question number 9 is which of the following is correct syntax to check if the length of a list is equal to 10 in Jinja 2 template. Okay, so see, if we talk about Python itself, so how to find any length of a list? Anyone? Length of a list?
Len within bracket of the list, len or list.len, any of them.
Yeah. So this is basically the function which we use in Python to find any in total number of item in a list, tuple, array, dictionary, whatever you can use in between, and you can find the length of that. So this is all about the Python. Okay, so if we talk about the Jinja 2 template, talk about the Jinja 2 template, in which also we are using Python as a language, but see, here we have something like some list or tuple or something. We have a list. So what we do in Jinja, this is a basic syntax of Jinja. Within that, name of the list, like we have list 1 or list 2 or list 3. The name of the list, this is the name of the list, and there is a pipe like symbol, and after that length. This is the syntax. But our question, if we go to the question, it is not asking us that what is the length of the list. Okay, so it is just asking about if you can underline that if the length of a list is equal to 10. Okay, so in the question, if is we are using if statement, right? So it is asking that if the length of this list is equal to 10 or not. So this is a conditional. If is a conditional. So how do we specify conditional in Jinja? This is the syntax, right? This is the syntax for conditional. So what should be within that conditional? How to find the list of length of the list? So nothing. The same thing. List. Sorry, this I will write something like list. A pipe symbol, length, and it is also in the question they are asking that whether this list length of the list is equal to 10 or not. So this will be the answer. So see, first is wrong. Like first, why it is wrong? Because it is using len, which is not correct. In Jinja 2, we basically use lenth, not the len. So it is correct, not correct. This is correct. Okay, if we talk about 3, so see here it is using a single, so it is assigning, not like it is not checking. So it is a wrong option. 4th is if length, so this is syntax is wrong, right? This syntax is wrong. So okay, so our answer is second option is our answer. So yeah.
Let me ask my Jinja question again, right? So how much of Jinja are we supposed to know?
Okay, we are going to the Jinja, right? Can we go to the
Jinja on the previous terms? Because see, the thing is Jinja is very vast,
okay.
right? And so we had an assignment and we finished that assignment. So whatever is done in the assignment, we definitely know. But this was not covered. Yeah. So I got worried about after. It's a very simple question, but I got very worried after this.
Okay, so see, my only suggestion is to is something like if you are whatever is you are using in your assignment, whatever has been asked in your assignment questions, like the questions that we are giving to you as a part of graded and practice. I'm not talking about I'm not talking about those questions which is something related to syntax. Okay, so see this for example, this question. Okay, so this question is kind of a syntactical question. Like if some student doesn't know that length, what is difference, and they can be confused in this question. So this question is something like a syntactical question, we can say that. So that kind of things which involves any syntax related thing, that is not we will never ask those kind of question in the quiz. The only question that you can encounter in the quiz is that the graded, the practice, the assignment, all this the scope is just within this only. You are not going to don't have to explore the whole Jinja documentation. Just you have to use and know those things that you are using in your assignments. Okay, so no, not apart from the assignment thing, assignment, practice, and activity you can also consider. Activity, practice and graded you can also consider, but not those which is something about syntax and all. Okay, so for example, this question, for example, if you are seeing some filters kind of thing which is not encountered in the assignment itself, which is not taught in the course, which is not taught by this faculty, so those kind of thing you will not encounter. Okay, hello, am I clear?
Yeah, got it. Thank you.
Okay, so we go to the 10th question. Okay, this is a simple question, right? I don't think this will take time. So see, we have a this is a we are importing template from Jinja 2. Now what we are doing, we have created a dictionary. We have created a dictionary. We have a key and value pair, like first television, second smartphone, third tablet, and fourth computer. So we have 4 key and value pairs here in the dictionary itself. After that, we have a four statement. Like what we are doing in this 4 statement, let's see. So for items in my gadgets, so what is my gadgets here? My gadgets is nothing but the dictionary. Okay, so after that we are creating a template. We are creating a template here. The name of the template is statement. After that we are creating a template, and in the template itself we are using some variables that will be replaced by some variables. So here we are using items and gadgets. So what is an item and gadgets? This template will not know until we specify this in the time of rendering that template. Okay, so till here the template doesn't know what is item and what is gadget. It only we are creating a template, and it only know that it is something like we have to replace something by this thing which is written inside the this syntax. Okay, so after that what we are doing, we are rendering the template. So at the time of rendering, what we do basically, we are giving inputs, or we are passing inputs to the particular templates. So now the template will know that which kind of which kind of things or which kind of variables we want to pass in. Okay, so what thing we are passing? The gadgets. So we are passing here my gadgets. Okay, we are passing here my gadgets. And what is my gadgets? So my gadget is nothing but the dictionary. So why it is gadget here and this is my gadgets here? Gadget is something that we are using in the template, and my gadget is something that is coming from here. Okay, so gadget is we are using here in the template itself, and the right part is coming from here only. And we can also see the item here. So how does this template know what is an item? So we have to pass the item also, that the item we are talking about is nothing but the item here. Okay, so this item is this, and this item is this one. Okay, so right one is right one is this, and this one is this. So now the code is clear. So I'll not tell the answer. Let me ask from you also, only you all. What will be the answer? See, can someone say what will be the answer?
My first gadget is television. My second gadget is.
Okay, so this one will be the answer, right? Second option. Very simple. Like it will go one by one. First, second, third. Okay, so
First, second,
now,
third.
okay, so this is all about question number 10. If anyone wants to ask something, you can directly unmute yourself and can ask, because I can't see the chat. Okay, so I'm going to the next question, which is question number 11. Okay, there I can see the chat. Let me see. Second one. Can you please mute everyone? Oh, okay.
It has been done. So thank you. So
okay. Okay, which of the following Python code will generate the HTML code as given below? Okay, so this is all about the PyHTML, I think. Okay, so PyHTML. So see, this is our code, and the question is asking that which of the Python code, which of the following Python code will generate the HTML given below. So this is the HTML given below, and they're asking that which of these Python codes, like we have 4 Python codes as a snippet they are giving. So which of the Python codes will generate this HTML? Okay, so see, first we have to analyze the HTML, what is given in the HTML. So see, we have a doc type declaration. After that, we have a HTML tag. Within the HTML tag, we have head, and within the head, we have a title. And what is the name of the title? Table. Okay. Head is closed, body is open. Okay, so body, we have a body tag. Under the body tag, we are creating a table. Okay, so this is how we create a table, right? Table tag. After that, we have within the table tag, we have one row. See, we can see the row from here to here. Okay, so we have a row in which we have 2 headers. One header is name, Like one header is name and second header is the address. So this is all about the first row. If we go to the second row, which is here, okay. So if we go to the second row, we have something like table data. Okay, but this table data is first table data and the second table data, Hyderabad, James and Hyderabad. This is nothing but the name and address. Okay, this is all about the second row. If we talk about the third row, the same thing. We have two table data first and table data second. Dennis and Richie. Sorry, Dennis and Chennai. Okay, so we have closed the table tag. We have closed the body and the HTML. Okay. So see, what is the first option? What is our first option? We are importing everything from PyHTML. We have creating an HTML tag. We are opening an HTML head tag. Beneath the head tag, we have a title. Name of the title is table. So this is correct, right? After that, in the body, we are creating a table in which we are creating a row and two headers, name and address. Until this is all right. So after that we have two table datas, James and Hyderabad, and after that we have two table datas, Dennis and Chennai. Okay, so let us go to the second. We'll come to this option at the end. Okay, this is the first, this is the second. So yeah, from here, from PyHTML import star, we have HTML head and we have title, we have a body. Under the body, we have table. We have a row in which we have two headers. Okay. So can you see the difference? I can see the difference. Can you all see the difference? What is the difference between this option and this option? Can someone unmute and say?
Table row.
Okay, yeah. Okay, so if I talk about option number 1 and 2, we can clearly see that in the option number 1, we don't have table row. They are directly giving the table data. And where is the row? We are not creating any row, right? In the second option, we can say here there is a table row, first table row in which we are creating two headers, second table row in which table data, two table datas, third table row, two datas. Okay, so we'll come to this option later. Let us go to the third option. So this is a PyHTML import star. Okay, this was all fine. HTML head title table. This is fine. Body under the body we have table row, table data. So this is wrong, right? We are in the code itself, we are creating table head and not table data. So this is wrong. Okay, this is wrong. No, if we go to the fourth option, what is wrong in this? HTML head, title, body, table row, table head. Good. So see, here we are within the table row itself. We are not giving the table data. We are not using the table data. We are treating it both this thing as a header. That is not right. That should be a row. Sorry, that should be a table data, but not table head. So I think second option is correct. Okay. So is it fine? Can we go to the next question? Is there something on the chat?
Yeah, ma'am.
Okay, so I think we can go to the next part. So the next part is 12 number question, which is given a table players. Okay, the name of the table is players, where the column player ID. So what is the name of the column? Player ID, which is a unique field. So what do you mean by unique field? Anyone?
Ma'am, I will answer, but sorry to call out publicly, but can I please request SKP to be on mute when he's not speaking? Because there is a lot of crackling noise from the line and it disturbs others. Please.
Okay.
I mentioned it on the chat also, I think.
Okay. Arup sir, are you there? Arup sir or Devi ma'am? Anyone?
Please go ahead. I think he was giving an answer, but I would request him to be on mute after he
is on mute
speaking.
now.
Yeah, you can also unmute, sir. We
Yeah,
can
he's
also
on mute.
Okay. Okay, so yeah, we were in question number 12. Okay, so we have a table players. We have a column player ID. They are calling it as a unique field. Okay, associating to only one player. Okay, so until this point it is all clear. How can you efficiently select the first 100 odd player ID values from the table? So see, the first thing is the name of the table should be players. Second thing is we should select 100 odd player ID. Okay, so see, if we erase this, let me erase this first. Okay. Oh. Okay, so so see, they are talking about first 100 odd player IDs, player ID value, player ID. Okay, so this is, so we should have to analyze the queries, like queries from option 1 to 4, and see what they are matching with this thing or not. Okay, whatever they are asking in the question, they are matching with this thing or not. So see, if we go to the first query, select star from players. So they are selecting star, they are selecting all columns from the player table, and they are ordering by player ID. Okay, and they're limiting to 100. So there are something like they are not specifying the first 100 odd player. They are see, they are selecting all columns from player. They are just ordering by. What does the order by do? First, the first thing is that what does the order by do? If we go to the details, like I'm not going into very much details in SQL queries and the rules. So if we talk about the order by, this particular keyword is just used to sort the result set. Okay, sort the result set. In what order? Result set
Ascending.
So this is something like, this is a default thing. If you're not specifying any ascending, descending in your query, it will sort the result set by default at the ascending thing. Okay, so if sort the recording ascending order by default, this is clear. So after that, if you want to specify, like if you want to sort the query, sort the result set in the descending order, we have to specify something like this. Okay, so this is clear what is order by. So see, in the first query, it's just ordering by, it's just sorting. They are not checking, right? They are not checking like it's odd or not, it's first it's odd or not. So it is wrong, right? We are not checking in the first query that whether it is odd number of first odd players or not. It's just like they are sorting and they are limiting. What is the limit clause? So see,
100.
So what does a limit clause do? I think most of you have enrolled in the DBM's course, but those who have not familiar with these things, like this keywords, like what does a limit clause do? It is basically used to select a limited number of records. Just very simple thing. Just used to select
top 100.
So here in this question, we are selecting top 100, but if we talk about limit clause, what does it do? It select a limited number of records. Okay, So here, if we talk about records, so how many records we are talking about? 100. So see, it is sorting, it is selecting 100 record, but it is not right, because it is not specifying that whether it is odd or not. So it is not correct. If we talk about, if we go to the second option, okay, so in the second option, we are selecting everything from player, and we are using a clause in SQL, which is a where. So what does this where do? So if you talk about where clause, so what does this where clause do? It is just some kind of see, it is basically used to filter records. Okay, it is basically used to what? Filter records, and it filters only those records. First thing is it is used to filter record, and second thing is it basically filters those record only that fulfills a specific condition that is specified in the where clause. So here, if you can see that we have a where clause, it is filtering, right? It is used to filter, but what is the condition? What is the specific condition? This is the specific condition, that player ID. So here we want to select odd players, right? So this is something like it is specifying correct condition. Okay, after that we have order by player ID limit 100. So see, this particular query, I think this is a right answer, but we can also see option number 3 and 4. But before going into option number 3 and 4, see here, this is selecting all the columns from the players. They are specifying condition also with the help of they are specifying the condition also, which is done with the help of where clause, and they are also ordering, they're also sorting the records result set, and they are also limiting. Okay, so one thing to note is that order by clause always comes after the group by the order by clause also always comes after the where or the group by clause. Okay, so here we can see order by, we are using, cannot use the where order by keyword before the where clause. Why we can't use it? It is something like it is specific to the DBMS part, like database. If you familiar with that, it is something like aggregate function and all. I am not going into very much details. So here we just to notice that order by is always used after the where or the having or the group by. Okay, so this is the correct until this is a correct option. If you go to the third option, okay, it is selecting all selecting star from players where player ID no. So this is the condition is wrong, right? We are searching for an odd thing, odd player ID values, but it is selecting all the even thing. So it is not correct. If we talk about fourth option, they are selecting star from player where player ID is odd. So there is nothing like odd. Okay, so there is nothing like odd keyword in specified in SQL as far as I know. So this is also not right. So option 2 is correct. Okay, so this is all about 12 number question. I can see the chat. Let me see. Okay. So if you go to the option number, question number 13. So it is all about the Jinja, and it is specifically all about the template inheritance. Okay, so in the template inheritance we are using in this question. So how we are using, let's see. So see this, we have 3 HTML files from the template folder. So we have a template folder, we have a 3 HTML templates, we have 3 HTML files, or we can say we have 3 templates. Okay, so how will the Flask app render the file test.html? So assume that there we have a Flask file. What does a basically how does a Flask file or Flask application looks, you know very well that all initialization part, and we are defining one root, and we are rendering one templates and all. So what in that Flask app we are rendering? Which file? Test.html. So see, file number first, template number first, doc time HTML, we have head, we have title. In the body, we have a head tag. Okay, sorry. This is okay. So we have a head tag in which we are specifying a kind of inline styling. Like we are specifying color red, and this is my red template, and we are closing. So what is this? Okay, what is this and how we use this? So I'll explain this particular syntax later on. First, analyze what are the files and what they are doing. So this is our file number 1 or template number 1. So if we go to the we have one more heading tag which is doing the same thing. Like it is it is specifying the color as red, and this is a red template thing. If we go to the second file, we have a HTML, we have a head, we have a title, and we have a body. So within the body, we have a header tag, and we are specifying the color to blue, and this is our text within the header tag. So this text within the header tag, this must be of blue color, because we are specifying the style here, like color blue. So this thing appears again. What is this thing? I'll explain you later. So yeah, this is the second header we have closed, and this is the test.html, which we are talking about in here. Like how will the Flask app render the file as test.html? So in our Flask app, which file we are rendering? Which file? Test.html. So if we go to test.html, they are using some special syntax here and here also. What is this? So see, this syntax is all about the, let me clear the screen first. Delete. Okay. So this is nothing but the template inheritance. Okay. Template inheritance. So we are using a concept of template inheritance here. So what does a template, what should you need to know about template inheritance? Like, first thing, you have encountered something like this, right? This block content and all, block content and block and block and block. The second thing is this thing. What is this also? We can also see what is this. Extends some name of the file .html, and we close it. Okay. So what is this? Basically, what is this? This is something very specific to template inheritance. So how do we use these things? So see, this is a kind of Jinja construct, which is basically used to specify the location where the derived template need to insert their page specific content. What does I mean to say? Like, see, here we are using. So what does it means? Like within this block content here, within this block content, we basically specify the thing or the base, what we say, the text or anything we want to specify, which will be specific to this page only, this HTML file only. Okay. So here also you can see here, if we are so this is basically what I said. This is a Jinja construct, and this is the location where we can insert something that is to be page specific. Okay, let's say here we are extending layout.html. So this is something like we can extend any HTML file here. In the test.html, we are extending which file? We are extending layout2.html. We are inheriting. So this file test.html is inheriting this layout2.html. So that's why if we go to some details of Python inheritance and OOPS concept, you can see some similar kind of thing, but not very much similar. So we are using extends. This is a keyword. So what it do? And after that, we specify the name of the HTML file which we want to, from which we want to extend, or from which file we want to inherit. So test.html is inheriting from layout2.html, which is nothing but this file. Okay, so from here we can see first line. What does this first line do? Okay, so we come to the test.html. Now we can see that, okay, so this file is extending some extending the code or extending the properties. From where? It is extending the properties or extending the, sorry, properties not a correct word. It is extending some specific tags or some specific properties, we can say that, from layout2.html. So this is our first line. It is clear. After that, we can see a block content and end block. So what does this mean? I have explained you earlier that this this particular syntax, this is a kind of construct in which we can specify the very basic page concept, page specific contents. So here we are, first thing is this line. So it will go to layout2.html. The first line, which the code encounters is this line. So it will go to the layout2.html. It will not go to layout1.html. Why does it not go? Because we are not specifying or not inheriting from this file. Okay, so we are not mentioning or not inheriting from this file. We are inheriting from layout2.html. So we will go to layout2.html, which is this file. So see what this file does. It is a header. It is a head section. Within the body, it is showing that we have something like this is my blue template, which should be having a blue color. Okay, so first thing, we should have to search in our options, like which are all the options that which have first blue color, and what is the text with it. This is my blue template. So the heading should be, the heading which is this is my blue template should be of blue color. So okay, so here I can see, here I can see this is my blue template. So after that, what is that? We have a block content. Okay, so block content, what does it do? So see, the parts of the text, sorry, someone is speaking.
Voice is breaking, ma'am, perhaps.
What is breaking?
No, we can hear you clearly now.
It is clear, ma'am. It is clear.
Okay.
So voice is clear.
My voice is breaking.
Okay.
No,
I
ma'am,
think there is some issue from
No,
your
no,
side.
no. Now it is okay. Now it is okay.
Okay, now it's okay. Okay, fine. So see, the first thing to remember is like we are extending from layout2.html. So anything which is within this construct will be of page specific, like it only belongs to layout2.html. Apart from anything which we are mentioning in that body tag, so they all belongs to this test.html. It will all test.html will take all of the contents in the body tags except anything which we specify in the block content or end block. Okay, so here it will take this file is extending layout2.html, so it will take all of the contents which is within the body tag. So it will take this also, and it will take this also. So what is the use of this here? So this will be replaced, this thing will be replaced by this. Okay, because we are specifying block content, welcome to home in the heading tag, within the heading tag here in the test.html, it will show in between the blue these things, because we are using this construct here, right? So it will basically go to this part, and it will show, it will replace this thing, and it will show it like this, like welcome to home. And after that, what it show? The same thing, the same content that we can see here. It will show this is my blue template, this is my blue template. Okay, so yeah, so this is something like this is what we call the template inheritance. So we can use this thing, this syntax, and we use this syntax. So this all are called kind of Jinja construct. So this constructor is used to link the base HTML template with the inheriting template. Like what are our base HTML template? Our base HTML template is this layout2.html. And what is our inheriting template here? We have inheriting template like is test.html. Okay, so this is something like this is all about the template inheritance. So this is how we use this. So second option is the correct option here, because see, in the first, this is red. So I think this is using the layout1.html, which is not correct. We are extending to layout2.html, not layout1.html. So this is a wrong option. If you go to the third option, what is this? Welcome to home. So see, it is printing this part as the first statement, and not this. This is not right. Okay, so this is wrong. Welcome to home. So this is my rent. This is absolutely wrong. So this is question number 12. Okay, so I think we can go to the next question. The second option is right. Okay, so question number 14. I think I should have to maximize this thing. Let me. Okay. So someone maximize. Okay, so see here they are asking us to consider two tables. Like we have table 1 constructor, in which we have 3 columns: constructor ID, constructor name, and department table. In the second table itself, we have a table which is the department table, departments table. We have 2 columns: department name and building name. Okay, so this is all about the question. They are asking us to consider 2 tables, and what is the statement? Which of the following queries will list the name of those departments which have more than 1 instructor? So see, they are asking, they are giving us 3 queries, like in 3 options, and they are asking us the correct query which lists the name of those departments. So they are demanding us the department's name. Okay, the name of the department which have more than 1 instructor. Okay, so before going into the query, I just wanted you to ask any one of you. Can someone explain why is this the need of this table, or it is need of a join here, or we can only use this table and do our work, or whatever this statement is asking? We can also can someone put some some comments on that? Like anyone from DBM scores, or okay, so you have learned like joins
so
and
you're
all.
asking with the question, right?
Yeah, I'm asking in the context of question itself. Like we have 2 tables, and here the question is asking about a query. Like we have 3 queries, right? So they are asking about a query which they are asking about a list of name of those department, like they are asking about the departments which have more than one instructor. So see, why we are here, we can see that we have two tables. Okay, so they are not asking us to use any join or anything. They are just demanding us a query. So what will be your input, like
Because
should we?
you don't need to join, right? Because from the
Hmm.
instructor tables itself, you can find the answer.
Yeah, so yeah, this is what this is all. So see, here they are just giving us two tables to confuse you, like many of the students, like they basically saw this options and can easily confused in this concept, like joins, they are using joins. Yeah, you can use joins, but what is the use of this joins here? Like we, in this instructor table itself, all these things, all the columns are present, right? They are talking about departments. We have a department name. They are talking about the instructor, so we have an instructor name also. So why we had to join these things? So there is no need, right? This just given the department table just to confuse. So see, if you talk about the query number 1, so they are selecting department name from departments inner join. So they are selecting department name from departments. So there is no use of this table. So okay, so they are performing the inner join on instructors, and they are joining the department and instructor tables, and they are joining what on which column? Department name. Like department name and department, is both are common columns. So yeah, not I just not want to discuss this inner join and inner join, so because these are not needed. Like option number 1 and option number 2, we can directly eliminate these two options, because if we see from these tables, table number 1 instructor, we have all the information in this table itself. We did not want to go to the second table and fetch some data and have to join these two tables and this all this thing we don't want. So option number 1 and 2 is we can directly eliminate. If we go to the option number 3, so see, in option number 3, we have select department name from instructor. Okay, so in the queries itself, they are asking about the department name. So we have department name. So how do we select a department name from any table? This is the syntax, right? Select department name from instructor. Instructor is nothing but the table name of the table, and department name is what we want to select from instructor table. Okay, so department name is that column, or which we want to select from the instructor table. So this is all about the first line. If you go to the second line, group by. So in the previous slide or previous question, I have explained you what does a group by do, right? So what does a group by do? So basically, see, a group by is nothing but is just used to this is what group by is just used to group the result set by this department. So this column name. So what is the column name? Department name. So this is a group by. Okay, so yeah, group by. So we are grouping the result set, all the name of the result set by department name itself, and after that we have having count. Okay, which is in the question itself, we have specified that which have more than one instructor. So this is something like we have using having count here, and which is specifying that all the result set that we got from the previous query lines of the query, we have to group them on the basis of this, which have more than one instructor. So this is the thing that we are using here to count the number of instructors. Okay, so there should have to be more than one instructor. That's why we are using here a count star It means it is selecting all the department name, column from the instructor table, and they are grouping the department. They are grouping it by the department name itself, and they are specifying one more thing, like there should be departments which have more than one instructor. So this is something like, this is the query which fulfills all of the condition that has been specified in the statement itself. So this will be the correct option, because we didn't or we didn't need the inner joins here. We didn't need the second table. That's why we are not going into the inner joins. Okay. So it is a very simple thing, like we are just using the instructor table, and we are just grouping it by the department name. We are just selecting the department name column, and we are just grouping it by the department name, and we are selecting those department name which has more than one instructor. So this is the query, correct query. Okay. So
Ma'am,
yeah.
Here only department name has been selected. So what is the need of this group by? Is it for the counting? Suppose we remove this group by, suppose we remove this group by department name, then having count will work or not?
See, group by is if we talk about group by,
because only one department name is there.
Can I answer it?
Yeah, you can.
Yeah.
So,
please.
You can do group by having only after group by. So I don't think you can even do having without group by.
Yeah, correct. Having, if you want to use, then group by.
Yeah, it is the something is, if you are using having, so you should have to use group by with.
Okay,
something
this is
like,
this is prerequisite of the having, right? This is my question.
you can say that if you are using if you are using having here, so before using the having, you should have to specify the the specific column.
Okay. Having is this prerequisite should be group by. Okay, fine.
You can say that.
I will check in PG admin. Okay.
Yeah, you can check that. But as far as I know, having and group by is used like
in combination only.
In combination only.
Okay, ma'am. Thank you. Proceed.
Okay. So we are going to the next question number 15. So it is very simple question. I think it is not something like confused to you. See what they are asking. What will the SQL code segment do? So this is the code segment that they are giving, like select start from grocery. So they are selecting all columns from which grocery table, and they are ordering by the order by thing I had explained, right? Order by the sorting and all. So order by toothpaste brand, and there is a comma in between, and after that there is all one more thing, model number. So see what they basically what this query is doing. This SQL query first sort the given table. What is the table? The grocery table. It first sort the given table in ascending order. Like we are not specifying any DESC or descending thing in this order by clause. So it will first sort all these contents of the table in the ascending order. Okay, that is by default. Okay, and because we had not mentioned any thing like it will sort and descending, that's why I'm saying it is default here. Now you can see we are using here the multiple column names. We are using column names like toothpaste brand, and the second column name is model number column. Okay, so this is the column, this is the column. So what it will do, we as far as we can see, we have a multiple column. We are ordering this table, contents of the table in order to multiple columns. So what it do, it will first sort with respect to the toothpaste brand column name. Okay, so toothpaste brand, And after that it will sort the final table according to the column number 2. So if you go to the options, what they are saying, it will first sort the grocery table. Anyone speaking? Okay, I think that was by mistake. Okay, it will first sort the grocery table according to the column toothpaste brand. Okay, and then override it by sorting the grocery table according to the model name. So see, this is not the thing like it is overriding. Okay, so let us go to the second option. It will sort to the toothpaste brand column and model number column independently in descending order. So that is also not true. It will first sort the table according to the column toothpaste brand, and then after the result set of that particular the result set of that particular toothpaste brand order that we have used, that result set will further be sorted according to that column number 2. So no, this is not right, because they are not independently, we are not sorting. So if we go to the third option, like it will sort the grocery table according to the column number this, which is this, in ascending order. Okay, and then according to model number, whenever the column toothpaste brand fields for 2 or more rows are equal. Okay, so this will be the correct option. Why? Because here they are specifying that it will first sort the grocery table according to the table toothpaste brand in ascending order. Okay, and then according to the model number. Okay, and what is the condition? Whenever the column toothpaste brand fields for 2 or more columns, 2 or more rows are equal. Okay, so this is a condition, right? So there should be some 2 or more rows that must be equal in both of the tables, both of the columns. That's why this is the correct option. Like you can see, yeah, so this is the correct option. Okay, so I think this is simple. We can go to the next question. So this is all, I think this is HTML CSS. Okay, so question number 16, we can see that they are giving us a HTML code, and they are asking for the correct option, which will be the correct option. So see, here we have a HTML, we have a head, we have a title in between. Okay, within the head itself we have a style tag. We have two class. We have using two class selectors. So what are selectors? You know very well, right? We have class selectors, ID selectors, we have element selector, tag selectors, and all. There are many selectors. No, I'm not going into selectors and those things right now. So see here, if you go to the body section, here in the paragraph tag itself, we are specifying two classes. Okay, so if we talk about the classes, you know that we can specify as many as classes as we can. In a particular class, in a particular tag, we can specify as many as classes as we can. Okay, it's not there. If you talk about ID, so each ID is very unique to a particular tag, not a particular page, or whatever you can say, particular page. Okay, each ID is very unique to a particular page. If you are creating a particular HTML file, one ID can only belong to one page. Okay, so in case of a class, it is not like that. We can have multiple classes, and we can have two classes of the same name also. So here you can see that we have a paragraph tag, and we have two classes, class 1 and class 2. So here we can see in the style tag itself, it is in kind of okay, so it is kind of an internal styling, right? CSS internal styling. So we have a class 1 dot class 1. This is something like we have selected class 1 class selectors, and this dot is something like we are specifying this is second class selectors. So in the first, within we are we are asking them to change this color of the font to red. And the second thing is something like they are asking us to change the font weight to bold. So see, one thing to note over is that, so both of the style like style 1, class 1 and class 2, both the styles specified using this classes will be applied on the p element. Okay, both of these classes. So what will be the answer? The color of the text inside p tag will red, but font weight will not be bold. This is not true, because both of these styles will be applied to this paragraph. Font weight of the text inside the p tag will be bold, but the color of the text will not be red. This is also not true, because yeah, it will be bold as well as it will be red also. The text color will be red also. After that, we have a font weight of text inside the p tag. P tag will be bold and color will be red. Okay, so I think this is the right answer, because it is they are asking us to they are asking us to change the color of the text inside the paragraph tag as red, as well as they are also asking us to bold the thing within the paragraph tag. After that, font weight of the text inside paragraph will be normal. Why should not it should be bold, right? Okay, so this is also wrong. Color will be black. This is wrong option. So I think yeah, option number 3 is right. Okay, I'll maximize. So yeah, so I think the questions are over. Okay, questions are over. I'll stop sharing. Okay. Any question regarding any query regarding the questions that we have discussed so far, right, from the mock and all? So you the Jinja thing I had told you, right? You should not have to go into much details about Jinja documentation and all the filters. You need not to learn. Only the things that you are using in the activity, practice, and graded assignment question, the things that you have asked to use in the assignment, all those things you have to remember only, and not we also not ask you will not also not ask you the questions which are related to any syntactical type questions, like memorizing kind of thing. Okay, so yeah, Jinja, this is all about the Jinja. If you go to the yeah, week 1, 2, and 3 and 4, this is something like syllabus of quiz. So weightage will be kind of similar from all the weeks, but week 1, 2, and 3 you should have to focus on more, like you should have to focus on all the 4 weeks, but yeah, mostly the questions you can see from week 1, 2, and 3. So yeah, this is all about the syllabus and all. So yeah, that's all from my side. If you have anything to ask about apart from this that we have discussed today, you can also post it on Discourse. So tomorrow is the quiz, right? Tomorrow on Sunday. I
Yes.
think the quiz is tomorrow. Yeah. So
Tomorrow.
yeah. Yes. So yeah, you can ask your queries at this time also, at the morning also. You will get the response within an hour or so, an hour, 2 hours or so. So yeah, apart from this, whichever we have discussed, if you have anything to ask, you can post it on Discourse also. I think
mock solutions will also be uploaded today, ma'am.
Yeah, it will be uploaded.
Because still it is not uploaded, perhaps, no?
Oh, okay. Yesterday you can check it today only. You can check it now.
No, today I think I checked it, but it was not uploaded.
Okay, let me check.
Solutions
I think yeah, I think it should be uploaded, but let me check. Okay.
Okay, please.
Yeah. Let me check and get back on the Discourse. If it is not released, I'll try to release it before the quiz, right? Okay.
Yeah.
So yeah. Okay. So I think we can close the session. Thank you all for coming to the session. Yeah.
Thank you. Good night. All the best for the guys for the quiz.
Thank you.